Let's read some of these updates for the Barry Morphew case. Just before Barry Morphew's first appearance in court, his daughter walked in arm with Morphew's attorney. Arm in arm? Like a father giving a bride away at a wedding or something. She has stood by her father's side, maintaining his innocence. Only one of the daughters. Where's the other daughter? In court, Barry Morphew walked in sporting an orange and white striped jumpsuit. He was stoic, with a straight face. Aside from a smile he flashed to his daughter sitting in the stands in support. Stolid. Stolid is another word for stoic. For the most part, Tuesday's court date was a procedural hearing. The defense, representing Morphew, said they would need some time to review all of the evidence prosecutors are planning to use in the case, a terabyte worth. Here's another article here. I thought I'd already read through it and marked down. Let's just go with this one. Barry Morphew's attorneys filed an objection to the judge's order allowing media recording of the case. This is interesting. So this case is before Amanda Hopkins. She's the chief judge. I don't know anything about Amanda Hopkins, so it'd be interesting to see how this, court works. I think this is a great idea. It's a limited media access, so it seems like they're allowing like one camera or something. Morphew's attorneys filed an objection. They argued that the public has a general right to observe trials, but there is no right to televise or record. But the judge in the case, Amanda Hopkins, had previously issued an order allowing news media recording of the case in a preemptive order on June 20th, the day the indictment was unsealed against Morphew. So she previously issued an order allowing news media recording of the case in a preemptive order. So that doesn't sound like everybody gets to go in there and record it. Hopkins said in court on Tuesday that recording must be limited to this case and that case only, and not to disrupt other trials and hearings not related to the Morphew case. I don't understand that. Why wouldn't the news media be allowed to videotape all the proceedings? Just Morphew, that's the only one. And then it could also flip against them, because if you look at Karen Reed, there's people that said that she was guilty, but there's also people that said that she was not guilty. Can you give me a second? Give me a second, will you? So, let's see. Amanda Hopkins, the public's not to record. They're not allowed to record or rebroadcast the proceedings, which that's interesting. So that's a court order. Whereas the Karen Reed case, a whole bunch of people were streaming the, telecast, the whatever, where I don't know where they were getting the streaming from, but there was several people online who was restreaming the proceedings. So if you can't rebroadcast the proceedings, you could watch it, observe it, you could talk about it, and that's a judge's order too. So does that apply to everybody in America or just people in Colorado? One of Morphew's attorneys is Jane Fisher Brielzen, a board member of the Corey Wise Innocence Project. She wrote in a court filing, pervasive and prejudicial coverage erodes Mr. Morphew's right to the presumption of innocence, to due process, and to a fair trial. I disagree. I think it's actually the opposite, because when it comes to these court proceedings, it's hard to get the written transcripts, the audio or the video, the case, the audio or the visual or the written transcripts of any of this stuff. And so by having a television, this is the information age. We live in the information age, so why would we not, as a society, really televise all the damn proceedings? But Morphew's attorneys admitted that the arguments are moot since Judge Hopkins had already granted approval for media access. So they said that the arguments are moot, so they've already kind of given up on that argument. So that means there's going to be media, there's going to be television cameras in the courtroom. The next hearing is a status check-in on the case set for September 2nd. Another of Morphew's attorneys, David Beller, advised the court that they would challenge the $3 million bond in the case at that time. But for now, he will remain held in jail. So that means Barry Morphew is going to stay in jail for at least 2 months. He's going to stay in jail in Alamosa for at least 2 months before that September 2nd hearing. They wanted 2 months so they could go through the discovery. It's going to be videotaped. And, it's really him. I saw one picture of him going in. I don't know where it's at right now. And then I highlighted these things and I can't see them now. So let's just kind of go through this real fast. The husband of the woman arrested. I just want to see the update of what had happened in the courtroom today, because he had a hearing today, July 1st, 2025. Barry Morphew, wearing an orange and white jail uniform, sat next to his 2 attorneys, David Beller and Jane Fisher Brielzen, at the defense table for the approximately 30-minute hearing before Chief Judge Amanda Hopkins. Morphew waived his right to be advised of his legal rights and was not asked to speak. Much of the hearing was focused on requests made by his lawyers, such as making sure they're given all evidence in the case and their objection to the judge allowing a television camera in court. Suzanne Morphew's remains were discovered. So a lot of the similar information. His lawyers didn't return telephone and email messages seeking comment. Beller has previously criticized prosecutors for allowing their predetermined conclusion to lead their search for evidence. They said something about Beller said that the state public defender's office has a conflict of interest preventing it from representing Morphew, and he expects Fisher Brielzen and himself to ultimately be appointed to represent Morphew by another state office that pays private attorneys to defend people who can't be represented by the public defender's office. I don't understand any of that stuff. You're allowed to pay for your own private attorney, so is the public defender saying, no, we get to defend this case. This is our case. We get to defend it. So I don't understand exactly what that objection is about. Morphew, who owned a landscaping company, represented by a different private attorney the first time he was prosecuted. He sold the family home in the mountains near Salida, Colorado for $1.6 million in 2021. According to jail records, Morphew is self-employed and his home address is in Noblesville, Indiana. The mystery surrounding Suzanne Morphew began when the 49-year-old mother of 2 daughters was reported missing Mother's Day 2020. It was May 10th. So this was interesting. The prosecutors charged him with murder, but they dropped the case. That prosecutor in that case actually had made too many comments to the public, and because of those comments, that prosecutor ultimately got disbarred, which is incredible. She had a type of blood cancer, Suzanne Morphew did. So she was treating follicular lymphoma. Let's see here. Let's take a look at this. Is there any information we can glean from this? It says that Tuesday, Morphew appeared in a small Alamosa County courtroom wearing an orange and white striped jumpsuit. During the hearing, which lasted about 30 minutes, attorneys discussed several issues, including a possible conflict of interest between Morphew and the public defender's office. His next court appearance was set for September 2nd at 1:30 p.m. after Morphew's defense counsel asked for 60 days to review the discovery in the case. And then that's it. That's pretty much the update, right? They're not giving us any other information. Here's an interesting picture. It looks like he has a little bruise or a little scrape, some kind of scrape there above his left eye. I'm not for sure why that is. Let's see here. And then that's an update. That's an update on the Barry Morphew case.